What is my next available benefit? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in San Diego, St. Louis, and Washington, D.C. In today's video, we're going to talk about a concept that I've been thinking a lot about, and that's the next available benefit, the NAB. Your next available benefit is the next step in the process, the next step up the immigration ladder for you or anyone going through the immigration process. Now, the interesting thing about the next available benefit is not everybody thinks about it. Not everybody is thinking about what happens next. Now, some people do, and it's so interesting to see how different people go through the immigration process. We have some clients who are down to the detail. They want to know every single thing that happens on their case. They know that every single step in the process. They want to know from now until the day they get sworn into their citizenship, how does it all work? That's sort of one side of the fence. The other side of the fence are people who just sort of go through life lackadaisically, not really worried about stuff, hakuna matata, just sort of happy to go through their day, and that are pleasant to deal with, very nice people, but they don't really pay that much attention to how the whole thing fits together. And I think it's really important to always be thinking about where you want to end up and how you're going to get there, because it really is like a step-by-step process, or the best way to think about it is moving up the ladder. So when people come to the United States on a visit visa, which is one way that a lot of people start their immigrant journey, another one is through an H1b Visa. Some people have entered without inspection. Some people have received an immigrant visa and received a green card. So all these people are at different stages in the ladder. And you need to always be thinking about your next available benefit. And here's why. It's really important to be cognizant of what you need to do to maintain your status. It's really important, for instance, if you have a student visa, to know what happens next. You need to know, how do I set myself up for success when applying for the next available benefit? So you almost need to operate on two tracks. One is, how do I make sure that I don't lose the status that I currently have? And the other one is, how do I get ready for the next application, the next thing that I'm going to be able to file? And when it comes to the next available benefit, here at Hacking Immigration Law, we want you always to be thinking about the next available benefit, and we want you to have it marked on your calendar, because it's so important with USCIS being so slow that you need to apply for the next available benefit at the earliest possible date. So what we do for our clients is, if we get them an immigration benefit, we keep track of when that next available benefit is available. So let's think it through. So we have someone here on a student visa. They have come on a non-immigrant student visa, and they want to think about staying long-term. So after you're done with your studies, the next available benefit within the F1 visa is optional practical training, is OPT. And then once you're on OPT, you need to be thinking about, well, what comes next? Well, at the end of my OPT, I could go home, or I could be thinking about that next available benefit. The next available benefit at that stage is the H1b Visa. So at that point, you're thinking about, how do I find a sponsor? Will an employer sponsor me for an H1B? What are the steps that I need to fulfill in order to get the H1B? What are the documents that I'll need? What evidence do I need? What forms need to be submitted? And then once you get your H1B, then you're thinking about, wow, it sure is great. I have this work visa, but now I need to think about the next available benefit. Well, you look around and you say to yourself, well, after an H1B, the next available benefit should be a green card. So again, would my employer sponsor me for a green card? Or if I've married a U.S. citizen, could I get a green card through marriage? The next step up the immigration ladder, the next available benefit is the green card. And then once you get your green card, you have one more stop, one more thing to think about, one more next available benefit, and that is your citizenship. So you always want to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to maintain your green card, that you're not getting in any criminal trouble, that you're not leaving the United States without permission, that you're not doing anything to put your green card at risk. And when you're thinking about your next available benefit, what are the things that need to be true in order for me to be able to apply for and receive my citizenship? For instance, we want to make sure we don't have any trips more than 6 months. We want to make sure that we stay in the United States for at least half the time. We want to make sure that we're a person of good moral character and that we don't have any crimes or DUIs or anything that might impact our ability to obtain citizenship. So you really need to think about what's next. You need to have your eye on the prize, and you need to be saying to yourself, I'm really glad I have this immigration benefit, but what comes next? And when does it come next? And how do I set myself up for success when applying for that next available benefit. So it's an important concept. I want you to keep it in mind. It's something that we talk about here at Hacking Immigration Law a lot, and we want you laser focused on the next available benefit so that you make the right decisions, both in your day-to-day life and in your immigration journey planning. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, and if you want to move up the immigration ladder and you want our help, you're looking for legal representation as you navigate life at USCIS or at the State Department, feel free to give us a call at 314-961-8200. You can always email us as well if you're wanting to hire us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you're looking for some free resources, we have some good ones. We have our Immigrant Home Facebook group, which you can join, and people talk about their immigration journey in there every single day. They also talk about processing times and things that they're noticing at the service centers. All that kind of good stuff all gets traded freely. We also have our YouTube channel where we upload new videos at least 2 or 3 times a week. We also do our live show in there, and in our live show, you can come in and ask me any immigration question you want, and we do that for free as a service to the community. We hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you next time.